Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are taking a stack of sources focused on essential English grammar. But we are not here to build a textbook.
No, definitely not.
Our mission is to give you the shortcut, the strategic knowledge to master the core rules that cover, well, the vast majority, that 80%, of everyday writing and speaking errors.
Exactly. We're targeting communication credibility. You know, grammar isn't just about being correct.
Right.
It's about reducing the mental effort for your reader. If your emails, your reports, even your texts are free from these common pitfalls, your message just lands more clearly. We're focusing on fundamental consistency.
And our source material here is, I think, incredibly useful because it distills everything into 7 logical, high-impact areas. We're cutting straight through the noise.
It's the ultimate efficiency guide for communicators.
Okay, let's unpack this immediately. Let's start where all structure begins, the core mechanics of agreement in case.
This is the foundation. We have to start with subject-verb agreement. The simple rule is singular subject, singular verb, plural subject, plural verb.
The dog barks.
Versus the dog's bark. But where we find the constant errors is when the subject and verb are separated by other words.
Right. The sources really emphasize that tip. Just ignore the prepositional phrases in the middle. Like if I say, the box of assorted chocolates is empty, my brain wants to match chocolates with the verb.
Exactly. But the subject is box, which is singular, so the verb is correct. That rule alone solves, I'd say, half the errors in complex sentences.
Okay, but then we get the tricky categories like collective nouns.
Words like team or family.
Yeah.
Correct. And the nuance is all about context. Is the group acting as one unit, or are the members acting separately? So the team wins singular verb.
They're acting as one.
Right. But if the members are divided, the team members disagree, then you need a plural verb. It's a conceptual test. And then you have indefinite pronouns, everyone, somebody.
Those are always singular, even though they feel plural.
They do, don't they? And that's the trap. Grammatically, they refer to an individual unit within that group. So everyone means every single person.
So it has to be everyone is here.
Precisely. It's a grammatical requirement that often just conflicts with how we think about it in the real world.
Okay, so moving from subject-verb to pronoun agreement. We need consistency there too, right? In number, gender, person.
Yes, and we've seen a big cultural shift here, which our sources all highlight. The move toward inclusivity has really formalized the use of the singular there.
So instead of the clunky his or her.
Exactly. Instead of writing the student forgot his or her book, we just streamline it to the student forgot their book. It maintains flow and it's more respectful.
That brings us neatly to probably the most notorious error I see in the professional world, pronoun case.
The subjective versus objective.
So why is the classic error between you and I so common?
It's a hypercorrection. I think people associate I with sounding more formal or more correct, so they just plug it in everywhere.
But it's wrong.
It's just wrong. The rule is simple. If the pronoun follows a preposition like between, to, or for, it must be objective. Between you and me.
And the test from the source is brilliant. Just take the other person out of the equation.
Right. You'd never say between I, so you can't say between you and I.
That clarity test is golden. If you want to sound more credible instantly, just fix that one error.
Absolutely.
Okay, stepping into a different lane now. Let's look at punctuation and structure. You know, we often underestimate the power of the comma.
Oh, commas are the traffic signals of reading. They serve multiple vital roles, yes. Lists and introductory phrases like, in conclusion, the data shows.
Sure, basics.
But their strategic value is signaling non-essential information, the descriptive clauses.
So information you could technically remove.
Right. Pieces of detail that, if removed, wouldn't break the core sentence. My brother, who lives in Addis Ababa, visited. The fact that he lives in Addis Ababa is just extra detail.
The commas tell you that.
They tell the reader, hey, you can process this detail quickly. The main idea is coming.
And since we're talking clarity, the Oxford comma, that final comma in a list, where do you stand?
Oh, I would argue it's mandatory, especially in any kind of technical or persuasive writing. The source strongly recommends it because it removes ambiguity.
Instantly.
Instantly. Red, white, and blue versus red, white, and blue. In the second one, white and blue could be a single item. That tiny comma prevents massive confusion.
Speaking of small marks with huge impact, let's clear up apostrophes.
Yeah.
Possessions versus contractions.
The confusion is almost always around its versus its.
Yeah.
It's with the apostrophe always means it is or it has. That's it. If you're showing possession, like the cat's toy, you use the apostrophe. But the key exception.
The possessive pronoun.
Exactly. It works just like his or hers, and it takes no apostrophe. The dog chased its tail.
And that critical error the source highlights, no apostrophes for plurals, especially decades. We write the 1990s.
Not the 1990s. That's right. The only time a plural gets an apostrophe is if that plural is possessive. The dog's toys.
Before we move on, let's give the semicolon its due. It feels underutilized.
It's the sophisticated punctuation mark. It joins two independent clauses that are closely related. It shows a stronger connection than a period, but a cleaner break than a conjunction.
Like, I love coffee, she prefers tea.
Perfect example. They're related ideas, but they are grammatically complete sentences on their own.
Moving into sentence structure, let's talk about parallelism. Why is that strategically important, beyond just, being correct?
Parallelism means keeping things in lists in the same grammatical form, all nouns, all verbs, etc. And strategically, it improves reading speed. It shows clarity of thought.
So she likes hiking, swimming, and running. She likes hiking, swimming, and to run.
Exactly. The first one is smooth, the second one is clunky. That consistency builds trust with your reader.
And the reverse problem, fragments and run-ons.
Right. A fragment, like, because I was late, just leaves you hanging. And a run-on sentence, I ran to the store, it was closed, just slams two ideas together without a pause.
You have to separate those thoughts.
You have to. It's vital for avoiding that choppy or breathless feel in your writing.
Excellent. Let's shift now to consistency in tense, and those words that always trip us up, starting with tense consistency.
The main rule is simple. Just stick to one tense unless you have a logical reason to shift time. So, we reviewed the data and decided to proceed. Both past tense.
The error is mixing them. We reviewed the data and decided to proceed.
Right. But where people get confused is with the perfect tenses. Present perfect, past perfect.
So what's the real conceptual difference between, say, simple past and present perfect?
Great question. Simple past is a finished action at a specific time. I lived in Paris in 2010. It's done.
Okay.
Present perfect uses have or has, and it connects a past action to the present. I have lived here since 2020. That implies you started in the past and you are still living here now.
So it emphasizes that connection to the present moment.
Exactly. And past perfect uses had to establish a sequence, an action that was completed before another past action. I had eaten dinner before you arrived. It's a tool for clarifying timelines.
And the easy one, general truths are always present tense.
Always. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius.
Now for the word usage section. We know the classics, there. But let's focus on the pairs that reveal a deeper misunderstanding. Let's start with affect versus effect.
These are the heavy hitters. They really damage credibility. The core way to remember it is that affect is usually the verb, meaning to influence.
And effect is the noun, the result.
Precisely. The rain severely affected the game. The effect of the rain was cancellation. If you can substitute influence or result, you know which one to use.
And the distinction between fewer and less.
This is all about countability. Fewer is for things you can count as individual units. Fewer apples, fewer mistakes.
And less is for uncountable things.
Yeah, mass nouns. Less water, less time, less effort. Getting this wrong suggests a lack of precision.
And finally, let's revisit that subjective-objective divide with who versus whom.
It's the same test we use for I versus me. Who is the subject? Who called? Who was the object? The great trick is to substitute him or her. If it works, use whom.
So, to whom did you speak? Because you would say, I spoke to him.
That's the test. It works every time.
That is a fantastic reminder. Okay, let's tackle the final section, the polish. We often rush through capitalization and modifiers, but this is what really makes your work look professional.
Capitalization is the simplest, but it's essential for a formal tone. Proper nouns, names, specific places, month have to be capitalized. Ethiopia, November, the deep dive.
And major words and titles.
Right. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog.
Now to the one that can instantly confuse a reader, often without the writer even noticing. The dangling modifier.
Yeah, we should define that. A modifier is a descriptive phrase, and it dangles when it doesn't logically attach to the word it's supposed to be describing.
The source gives that wonderful, vivid example. Walking down the street, the trees look beautiful.
And of course, the trees are not walking. The modifier, walking down the street, is left hanging there, describing the closest noun, which is trees.
It creates a ridiculous mental image.
It does, and it breaks the trust between you and your reader because the sentence is illogical. The fix is just to insert the correct subject right after the comma.
Walking down the street, I saw beautiful trees.
Precisely. Now I am the one doing the walking. Spending that extra second to check your modifiers ensures your writing is clear and never unintentionally funny.
So we've covered these 7 essential areas, and they really are the 80-20 rule of communication, aren't they?
They really are. Mastering them drastically reduces your error rate. Consistency is credibility. If you implement these 7 rules consciously, your communication will improve almost overnight.
And the sources recommend a quick practice routine.
Yeah, just write a short paragraph every day and check it specifically against 2 or 3 of these rules until they become automatic.
You can use tools for this too. The free version of Grammarly or the Hemingway app are great for diagnostics. And, maybe crack open a classic like The Elements of Style by Strunk and White.
hmm As the source notes, while consistency in English is key, you also have to consider context. So for highly specialized or cross-cultural communication, there are variations. You might need to adapt your grammar for a global business audience versus, say, an academic one, or for people whose first language is Amharic.
That's a great point.
So if consistency is the goal, this raises an important question. How might mastering these fundamental rules still require you to explore specific context-dependent usage variations to achieve truly professional clarity, especially when communicating across diverse linguistic backgrounds where the very concept of an error might be fluid? That strategic adaptation, well, that's the next level of mastery.